Good, happy Saturday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, State Fire Marshal investigate fatal fire in Nottingham. The State Fire Marshals is investigating after one woman was killed in a 3-alarm house fire in Nottingham Saturday night. Firefighters arrived to a home on Stage Road that was fully engulfed in flames at around 9:20 p.m. Officials said the first crews on scene entered the home and were able to rescue one man. Heavy fire conditions prevented firefighters from entering the home to rescue a woman trapped inside. The man was later transported to the hospital. The cause of the fire is under investigation, but the state fire marshal said it appears that the flames may have started in a bedroom on the first floor. The victim's name has not been released. The state medical examiner will conduct an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Police arrest Franklin man days after armed incident. A Franklin man who had been on the run from police for several days has been taken into custody in Concord. Concord police confirmed that Ryan Burlard, 33, was arrested Saturday morning. Burlard had been on the run since incidents early Wednesday morning in Franklin. Dozens of law enforcement officials were looking for Burlard, who is accused of taking part in some sort of altercation at a home on Pleasant and Prospect Streets, and he was allegedly armed when confronted by police. Police said Burlard was taken into custody without injury. New Hampshire police cracking down on DUIs this New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is upon us, and police are cracking down on those driving under the influence. Law enforcement will be out in full force on Saturday night and plan to arrest and prosecute anyone they find driving under the influence, Seacoast Online reported. State and local officials say that the biggest issue is the safety of the public. Portsmouth police will begin their extra patrols on Friday in preparation for the holiday on Saturday. The Portsmouth Police Department will have 6 additional officers working on New Year's Eve. Manhunt underway for armed and dangerous suspect after PA state trooper fatally shot. A manhunt is underway for an armed and dangerous suspect who fatally shot a Pennsylvania state trooper Friday night while investigating a domestic-related incident, police said. Hunterdon PSAP is currently searching for Jason Robinson, 32, in relating to a shooting of a trooper. And here's a photo of him. If you recognize this person, call police, the Pennsylvania police. Putin congratulates Trump, not Obama, in New Year's statement. Let's take a listen to this video from CNN.
Tonight, President-elect Donald Trump is out with new praise for Vladimir Putin, applauding the Russian president for withholding retaliatory sanctions on the U.S. Trump tweeting, "Great move on delay by V. Putin. I always knew he was very smart." But as the president-elect determines his next move responding further to Russia and the new U.S. sanctions, his advisors are calling out the Obama administration for what they see as politics at play.
We've been talking about this for a while. I think that, all we heard all through the election was Russia, Russia, Russia. Whenever it came to anything Donald Trump said or did, it seemed most days. And now, since the election, it's just this fever pitch of accusations and insinuations.
Trump transition officials are speculating that the administration's sanctions against Russia are a distraction to undermine his win and tie his hands on Russia before he becomes president.
I will tell you that even those who are sympathetic to President Obama on most issues are saying that part of the reason he did this today was to, quote, box in President-elect Trump. That would be very unfortunate if that were if politics were the motivating factor here.
Since the sanctions were announced, Trump himself has only issued a blunt two-line statement Thursday night, saying in part, quote, "It's time for our country to move on to bigger and better things," a posture he has taken publicly in recent days.
I think we ought to get on with our lives. I think that computers have complicated lives very greatly. The whole, age of computer has made it where nobody knows exactly what's going on.
But the president-elect has now agreed to sit down with the intelligence community.
We just need to get to a point ourselves where we can talk to all of these intelligence agencies and find out once and for all what evidence is there, how bad is it.
That closed-door meeting likely to take place in New York next week, where Trump will be presented with the evidence the intel community says points a finger at Russia for the hacks.
Maybe at that time or maybe later he'll have a response, but right now we're just not in a position to sit here and respond to all of these details before we have a full-blown intelligence report on this particular matter.
In the past, Trump and his aides have publicly been skeptical of the intelligence community's conclusions.
I don't think anybody knows it was Russia that broke into the DNC. Could also be lots of other people. It also could be somebody sitting on their bed that weighs 400 pounds, okay?
And have attempted to deflect blame away from the Russians, vowing during the campaign to improve the relationship with Russia.
Wouldn't it be nice if we actually got along with Russia and these other countries? Wouldn't that be a positive thing?
Once sworn into office in January, Trump has the power to reverse the sanctions or keep them in place. That decision hanging in the balance tonight.
Okay, and there you go on that report. We will be tracking that report as more things develop in there. Now let's take a look at our event calendar and see what type of events are happening today in New Hampshire. 7-course New Year's Eve dinner at 5 p.m. in North Conway. Special fireworks display at 9:30 p.m. in Hampton Beach. Pat's Peak New Year's Eve party family celebration at 6 p.m. in Henniker. New Year's Eve gala dinner and dance at 6 p.m. in Jackson. Adam Easer Group at 8:30 p.m. in Plymouth. King Pine Ski Area fireworks at 9:15 p.m. in East Madison. Holiday House tours at 10 o'clock a.m. in Portsmouth. New Year's Eve family celebration at 4 p.m. in East Madison. Discovering New Hampshire at 9:30 a.m. in Concord. Celebrate New Year's Eve at the Courier Museum of Arts at 10 o'clock a.m. in Manchester. New Year's Eve party, Andover Barn at Highland Lake Inn at 8 p.m. in Andover. A very family holiday time at Waterville Valley at 9 o'clock a.m. in Waterville. Claremont First Night, a New Year's party for all at 6 p.m. in Claremont. The Gift of Lights at 4:30 p.m. in Loudon. And New Year's Eve at the Lime Inn at 5 p.m. in Lyme. And those are events happening today in New Hampshire. If you want to read more about those events, just go to visitnewhampshire.gov and click on What to Do and click on the event calendar. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. See you back here later on today. Goodbye, everyone.